Steve, we're live?
Yep.
Excellent. What happened? Why is it playing just that channel? It's so bad. Hold on. Boom. We fix things the Italian way by ripping them down. Take two.
It's the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out Smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Oh, hell yeah. You're listening to the War Report. What? I said you're listening to the War. What? The War. What? The War Report.
What?
Oh my God.
What?
Oh dear, oh dear. This is the War Report brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for wrestling fans. With our roster of over 70,000 superstars and divas, you too can find your tag team match at TagMeADate.com. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. My name is Vince. I'll be your host for tonight. And yes, I'm back. We have people bouncing in and out, but that happens.
And better than ever.
Right? There we go. So, and with new equipment.
That's why we have a deep bench. We're never lacking.
Exactly. So, like, when I have to work or, like, when all of my stuff stops working all at once, like last week, I can reset. I got all new stuff, ready to talk some wrestling. Before we do, I have a little bit of a surprise for longtime viewers.
Yes!
The party light is back.
Yay!
But is it better than ever?
It might be because it's a new light. So we'll just keep that.
It looks right when it's in the basement.
Yeah, no, it looks. This is all we set up here. I'm ready to go do some wrestling. I don't even know where to start because I am a little behind by not being here last week.
So well, I want to kick it off real quick with just some business-related stuff. It has been brought to our attention that there is an email verification issue. The issue being that you're not getting it. So we are currently working on it. We are aware. So please bear with us if you are having an issue signing in or signing up because you're not getting that email verification. We are working on it. We hopefully will have that corrected ASAP. And we are still working with Apple on an update for the app. So please bear with us. I know it's been a long time, but we are working on it. It's just one of those things. Apple acting like a bunch of weirdos. Apple is a special company. So bear with us. We will update you as we continue. But enough of the bullshit. We got to talk Raw back in Madison Square Garden. It's always special, especially having back-to-back Raw and SmackDown, and then of course having Austin come back. And you could say, well, we've had him back recently at the reunion. Then they had that stupid fucking Skype thing. But at the end of the day, to me, at the reunion, as great as it always is to see Austin and to see him cut a promo and do his beer bash and do his thing, I didn't get a stunner. But we did this time. So all is good in the world. I thought overall it was a pretty decent Raw all the way through. I enjoyed it. There wasn't as much wrestling in the beginning like we've been getting. But at the same time, it all kind of worked and made sense to me. So yeah, I thought overall Raw was a pretty good show. What do What were your guys' overall take of the show, and then we can actually like dive into it.
Sounds like she dropped something.
Amanda enjoyed
no.
Raw
Whoa.
so much she's dropping shit, folks.
It sounded
right.
like she had an orgasm. I'm sorry.
That kind of show.
And then you have Kat to take it there.
Cat kicked it up a notch.
This is why you love having me here, though.
This is true. This is true.
It was a good show, though.
Yowie, wowie.
Yeah.
Amanda, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
It was decent. I mean, I actually really enjoyed the the King of the Ring match. I loved the finish. I loved Ricochet selling, going over the barricades. I thought it was a great match. And sadly enough, it is going to be King Corbin.
Yeah. Well, listen, Amanda, you called. That was your pick last week. You did say it, and I was hoping you would be wrong. And it looks like once again you are going to be correct because it definitely looks like that's the way it's headed. Although now apparently Elias is hurt
Yeah.
Yep.
and is going to be replaced, and who knows? Vince is known to change things last minute. So.
Oh yes, he is.
It could be worse, Amanda. It could be King Jinder.
Oh God, yeah.
Hey, you don't hinder the gender.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, but now here's the real question: which one is actually worse?
Jinder.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know.
And this is a great question to ask because the chairman is not here, who is all about Baron Corbin. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's gonna
if you
chime
break
in.
it down, Baron Corbin isn't a bad wrestler. He's got a killer signature finishing move.
true.
His entrance music is awesome. He just dresses like he should work at TGIF Fridays.
He isn't bedazzled enough, though.
He
He doesn't have any
pieces.
pieces of flair.
Like 20 other buttons. And
They don't do the flare anymore, though.
That's right.
oh, I know. I was
old.
there yesterday. Nobody had flair. I was
Nope,
just,
nobody
I wear
will get
flare.
that
Trust
anymore.
me, I hated wearing the flare.
but was it fair to flare?
Trust me.
Hey, listen, since the fucking Flair name keeps popping up, not to bounce around, and we'll go right back to Raw because there is a lot to cover, but apparently Ric Flair is suing WWE because he wants to copyright the man.
Man.
And I apparently is causing some beef between Charlotte and Rick, obviously. What do you guys think? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think Flair's just looking for a payday.
Yeah, I think finally he's hit Flair how much money he spent throughout his lifetime.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, he's like, oh shit. I like the fact that a guy like Ric Flair, who's made and then spent millions of dollars, should be a cautionary tale to everybody. But it's definitely, he's definitely trying to monetize. I think what happened was, if you notice, Becky Lynch had the man thing either the day before or the day after he did the lawsuit. Taylor Swift dropped the single, "The Man," and he just signed. Ric Flair just signed a deal with Adidas.
Yeah,
and
So are you going after Taylor Swift too?
yeah, well, he has filed. Here's what he's done. He filed a trademark with the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office for the phrase "the man" used in the context of entertainment in general. Yeah. So that entertainment is so broad, it includes wrestling and music and television and film.
But you know what? That's so stupid. Everybody uses the phrase like "I'm the man."
It's going to be very hard to prove. I can see why he did it. First of all, there's a guy on Jim Cornette's podcast, and I don't know his name, but I don't need to know his name because he provides nothing. I listen to that show for Jim Cornette. But the guy says something funny. Not funny, haha, but he says, "Oh, Ric Flair has never used the nickname The Man. He was never known as The Man." And I'm like, did you guys not listen to
any of his promo?
He says, to be the man, he didn't just stop. He didn't just say to be the man, you've got to beat the man and then fucking walk away. He says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I am the man. Woo! Like, that's how he phrased it. Like that.
Yeah.
So I get it. He's been using it since 1976 or whatever
But
it is.
still,
It's not going to work. It's
like,
definitely not going to work.
It's not going to work, but all it's going to do is piss off the WWE. And at this stage in the game, like, your best friend is Triple H. Like, at the end of the day, why, like, is it that important to you? I mean, let's be honest. I love Ric Flair, and I'm so happy that he's still with us, you know, especially with all the health issues as of late. But let's be real. He's got another 10 years, maybe. Is this all going to be worth it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. And that's a horrible thing to say, and I'm sorry, because I am a fan of Ric Flair. And,
but I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, is this payoff?
That's the exact reason why he's suing, is because he knows he only has about 10 years left.
That doesn't make sense, though.
What he said in the statement was that because he doesn't have that much time left, and Wendy spent all the time by his side when he had the surgeries, when they thought he was going to die last year and everything, that this is to ensure that Wendy and her kids are taken care of. That's where he's making. Not that I agree.
I get it. Yeah.
You know what? Listen, I get that 100%. I do. But let's be real.
Absolutely.
WWE is going to take care of that family. You know what I mean? Like,
Vince,
that's something that, well, not even that, but Vince is known to take care of, you know, certain guys and ladies, and I think Ric Flair will be one of those guys. Forget before all this shit. Like, let's say Ric Flair called Vince and said, "Vince, I'm running into some hard times." Anybody going to tell me that Vince ain't going to cut him a check? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of how it was and is with them. This is the type of thing that could tarnish something like that. And I just, you know, I don't know. I guess
depends on what kind of hard times. Like, how hard are the times?
Listen,
but Wendy has her own career and her own company too. This is what I don't understand.
What does she do?
She has her, well, at least for when the celebrity wife swap was on, when Flair and Piper switched places, she ran her own gym, like athletic studio and everything as an instructor, but she owned the place.
Yeah, I still can't believe that's a thing.
Years ago, but she had like 3 locations.
Can you believe they did a celebrity wife swap with Ric Flair and Roddy Piper?
I didn't even know they did.
It was great.
I can't say I watched Celebrity Wife Swap, though.
No, the best one, though, was when they switched Antonio Sabato Jr. with Mick Foley.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God.
And Mick Foley's wife was like in her glory, like, I get to wake up to this every morning. It's priceless. It was priceless.
Oh, man. But yeah, so this whole Ric Flair thing, I feel like Jim Cornette said it best. He said back in the old days, if an old timer made a complaint like this, you'd put some money in a brown paper bag and you'd hand it to them and they'd be happy and they'd go away. And Steve, I think you're right. Maybe somebody goes out and says, Rick, here's some money for using the man for Becky Lynch and for everything else. Here's like
hush money, like just go away.
Right. That's all he needs for him not to pursue it. Really.
And then just keep everything, you know. I don't want this to be, we're not going to see Ric Flair again because of something like this. You know what I mean? And I think,
right.
You know,
I don't disagree, but it's weird because I mean he feels entitled to it, and I think maybe he even knows that it's a stretch, but he has to take a shot at it because it's one of those things where with patents and trademarks, if you don't try and enforce it, then there's no reason to have a patent or a trademark.
Yeah, don't you lose it if you
Right. It's like your virginity. If you don't use it, you lose it. No, wait, that's one of those is wrong. But no, it's true. If you don't use it, you eventually run out of, you know, the rights to having that trademark. And that's why in the video game world, there was this guy, I forget his name now, but he was a big asshole. He started a company called The Edge. So every time there was a video game console or a video game itself that had the word Edge in it, or a magazine that's video game related, he would initiate a lawsuit saying, no, I use the Edge. I have the trademark for it in the video game world. So that's why, like, he tried to sue the makers of Mirror's Edge. The video game and the Edge. Well, Mirror's Edge was made by EA, and they sued him. They basically lawyered him into the ground, and he could never do it again. So that might be. Hopefully, that's not the future of Ric Flair. Is filing a bunch
better
of
hills to die on than taking on EA.
Yeah, but as long as Ric Flair is not going to try and send a bunch of. Hey, Taylor Swift, you're using my nickname, cease and desist. As long as he's not doing that, that's chasing the settlements. But who knows, man? You can't predict what Ric Flair is going to do, especially at this age. So,
according to the article I just sent into the chat or whatever, though, Triple H and Seth have all unfollowed Ric Flair on Twitter.
Oh God, and Seth just does whatever they tell him to do, doesn't he?
But Becky Lynch's Twitter account says, all I can say about Rick is I like Rick. He's been a good friend to me over the years. We'll see what happens with that.
That's all you got to say.
Who said that?
Becky.
All right, well, that was like the political.
It's the best thing you could say in that situation.
Classy, though. It was classy, at least.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the right response. What I don't like is people are trying to say, Ric Flair is a sexist. He only trademarked the name when Taylor Swift and Becky Lynch tried to use his nickname. It's like, well, I think the guy just woke up after 40 years and was like, oh, shit, I've been using this nickname. Let's try and get paid. I don't think it's a sexism thing. I think it's somebody's using his nickname thing. And I'm not even saying that, listen, Aloe Black has a song called The Man. People are called The Man all the time. It's a thing in sports and entertainment. You are the man of whatever industry you're in. Mm-hmm. So
I kind of feel bad
not going anywhere
for Charlotte throughout this whole thing, though.
She's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they know that, Rick's going to do whatever Rick wants to do. So.
No, not even from that perspective, though, because she's upset. But don't forget, Becky's, the 4 horsewomen. That's a kind of tough situation to be in.
Yeah, but he doesn't own the 4 horsewomen, though, or the 4 horsewomen.
No, I know. WWE. Between the girls.
Oh yeah, well, I don't. I think Becky's got to know that that's not Charlotte saying, "Hey, could you file this trademark?"
Yeah, I'm sure she's at that point. Rick's Rick.
Right?
Yeah, no, maybe Amanda gets what I'm talking about, like the girl code thing. You side with your girl or your father and all that shit. That's what I mean. I feel bad for her in that regard.
What's the girl code ruling, Amanda? You side with your girlfriend or your dad?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
She's not saying anything. She's like, my dad doesn't even listen to this show, but I'm going to make sure he doesn't hear me say anything I'm not supposed to say.
That's the problem. If you're put in the spot when you're supposed to decide between the two, dad, little girl, or your best friend, that puts you in a hard spot. No matter.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Oh, that is really hard.
All right, we spent a lot of time on Ric Flair.
Yeah, woo! Raw. We'll do Raw.
So, right away, we got to talk about the Firefly Funhouse. Has anyone been able to figure out the clock, 11/19? Because I'm hearing that was the date that Undertaker debuted.
That's what I kept on hearing.
Survivor Series, yep.
So
I've also been told that that's a Tuesday. If
they did have
2019, it's going to be a Tuesday. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, Ryan's going to look that up.
Yep.
Of course, we all have calendars.
Because then I'm kind of thinking, well, does that mean that Taker's getting taken out by the Fiend tonight?
Whoa.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Well, I thought Stone Cold was going to get taken out by him.
It is a Tuesday, but isn't that when Smackdown is with Fox?
Yeah.
Yes.
So isn't it moving to Fridays?
Oh, good call.
Good call.
The Survivor Series is in November. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Yes, you're right. It does. It is in November. Thank you. No, I don't think we'll know. Somebody posted a Bible, Ezekiel 11:19, but I'm just.
Oh yeah, somebody posted that to mine.
Actually, it isn't 11:19. It was November 22nd, Undertaker's debut.
Was that the Survivor Series or was that the? Oh, okay.
1990.
He wrestled a dark match.
Right?
Yeah, that's his televised debut, but I think he wrestled a dark match. But I think that's really splitting hairs because nobody's going to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just got the date wrong and are hoping nobody looks it up like we do.
Right. Yeah, for those of you playing along at home,
we have no lives.
The Undertaker uses the tombstone on that show, and I think it was it Gorilla? Gorilla goes, he hit him with a tombstone, and then Roddy Piper, who's on commentary, goes, he hit him with a what? Because they're not supposed to know the name of the move. He just debuted. Why would you know the guy's finisher is the tombstone?
It was his debut was on Superstars.
Yes. So, but the Superstars was taped before Survivor Series, but aired afterward.
No, it was on November 19th.
Oh, it was. Okay, so he wrestled that. Oh, well, there we go. So he wrestled that match, and they called it So they tried to make it like it was his big debut, like the Survivor Series was his debut, and they didn't know anything about him, but they had already called a match with him, calling it the Tombstone. So they were like,
with Brother Love as his manager.
Oh my God. Yeah. So the Firefly Funhouse, I just called it, by the way. The Firefly Funhouse.
Say that 10 times fast.
It was a good no. It was I couldn't do it. It was a good explanation that he had no beef with Stone Cold, and also he didn't want those hands from Stone Cold because it doesn't work out in your favor when you attack Stone Cold now that he's retired. It ends the same way every time. You get the stunner, and that's it.
There's very good odds you're going to get a stunner if you try and attack Austin.
Except for that one show that bugged Steve.
Which one?
But the one where they nobody got a stunner.
Oh, the reunion. Yeah. Well, that was horseshit.
Bug Steve.
Yeah. There was no stunner there, but yeah, usually you catch a stunner if you cross Stone Cold. So nice explanation for why he didn't attack him. There has to be a reason for it, yada yada.
Well, I think the reason is that people would really want to push for Austin to get back in the ring at that point, and I don't think he has any desire to really do that.
They can't tease that unless they're going to deliver, unfortunately.
Well, they did for how many years with Punk?
Yeah, and that didn't work out very well at all.
I mean, they really went and teased that.
They even had that interview with him and all three of those two guys in JR to promote the video game, but it was really them like working an angle to try and get a match. I don't know. I have an observation about Raw. I wasn't on the podcast last week, so I don't know what everybody's thoughts are as we get closer and closer to this Night of Champions deal, but I noticed in every segment, Seth Rollins was not the coolest guy in the ring. And he's never the coolest guy in the ring.
It's because I was thinking about this and wanted to talk about it
anymore.
Because look, he stood in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, two Vikings, a guy that's 7 feet tall, and Cedric, who just got the biggest win of his career against AJ Styles. He looked like the odd man out of that team. And not that he didn't do like he's like smashing the beer on his head, and that's cool and all, but like he just isn't the coolest guy in the ring. And if he's your champion and he's your guy, he's got to have at least pretend that you're the coolest guy, because then maybe you'll get that confidence.
As a sidebar, I will say this: if you watch Warbeard when they're having the beer bash, and even if you watch the video afterwards in the ring, he looked like the happiest guy. Oh, like he hit the lotto. I mean, can you imagine? Like, this is a guy who grew up at the height, got into wrestling at the height of Austin, and now you're having a beer bash with him in the middle of the ring. I could only imagine.
And Cedric, who they hired to fill a spot in that Cruiserweight Classic tournament. That's really why he was there, to fill a spot.
Mm-hmm.
To put over Ibushi or whoever he wrestled or whatever it was. And he did such a good job. The crowd said, hire Cedric. Triple H came out and said, okay, we're going to hire Cedric. And you figure when that happens, it's like when all that hype came around Matt Stryker because he was fired as a teacher for taking time off to go wrestle in Japan. WWE hired him and then did dick with him. You're like, okay, they're going to hire this guy. Nothing's going to happen. Cruiserweight champion, wrestled at WrestleMania, albeit, it was the pre-show, but still wrestled a big match at WrestleMania, win that Cruiserweight championship. And then now recently he's beaten AJ Styles. He was in the main event of Raw. it's amazing to see how far along these guys come. And you're right, to be in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, aside from The Rock, there's nobody else, or Hulk Hogan or whatever. There's nobody else to stand in that ring with and close out Raw that would be a bigger name. Like I said, Hogan and The Rock aside, that's the biggest. The beer bash at the end of the show is what back in the day made you a guy. You had that beer with Austin, whether he stunned you or whether you kept celebrating, you were a guy now. You were made by being in that ring. So hopefully those guys get some rub off it, which will be good. Especially the Viking.
Well, it looks like they're going to finally get their feud with the OC now.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
At least, now they're,
time, yeah.
Which I was saying last week too. We're at the point now where they need a feud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that Raymond Rowe, holy shit, on a shingle. I mean, he just flew out of nowhere with these big knees. He came crashing in. He hit like 2 or 3 big knees. I was like, oh my God. I like the, I've liked War Machine since they were War Machine all those years ago, but now we can't say War Machine
which
because
sucks.
that one guy, that asshole from MMA who beat up his girlfriend, the porn star. Thank you, that War Machine, who legally changed his name to War Machine.
Is that really why they had to stop using it?
There's the speculation. Amanda noticed it too. And Ryan, what were you talking about with the Seth Rollins not being the coolest guy in the ring?
He needs to stop and trying to incorporate Burn It Down into his promos.
No, it's not just that. It's the second that Becky took his balls.
You got cuckolded by Becky.
Yeah, that too. But just he was how did he word it? I'm in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it makes me. This is why I want to burn it down.
Yeah, like, oh God.
So you're gonna thaw out Stone Cold? Like, I don't know what.
It's just nobody. No one talks like that in real life.
You know what
That's
he's
true.
becoming? He's becoming Roman Reigns, but a better wrestler.
Yeah, but
They're not
Roman
allowing
Reigns
him to
is
talk
still
properly.
cooler.
They're giving him crappy ass scripts, and he's going to become Roman Reigns. People don't like him when he's on the mic, but the second he starts wrestling, then they're like, "Oh, okay, you're still cool."
Yeah, but here's one thing I will say though. I don't remember Seth Rollins ever being good on the microphone.
Oh no, he was not John.
But he wasn't.
John.
Yeah, he was never corny.
This corny stuff that he's doing right now, he kind of like last night, the impression he was giving, like he's like us as the fan being in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin, like all happy-go-lucky. Like I feel like he starts singing like "We represent the."
And he did the same thing with the Click the last time they were in the ring.
Yeah,
he just stood there.
And they all embraced, and he was on the outside.
He was like, "Hey,
Yeah, but you know what though? Like, you got to think for a minute too. That could have also been him trying to show respect and give Austin, the main stage, and try and stay off. Same with DX and all that.
There's a way to give respect though without looking like.
Oh yeah, he definitely looked like he was
cool
a fan.
Hey, Mr. Hunter, can I sit with the cool kids?
Exactly. Can I play?
Mr. Michaels, can I carry your bag?
But it is that's recent because when he was a heel, he was never like that. He was the face of the company. He was working with the Authority. He was working with Steph and Triple H, and it was just a different vibe. And I don't know. I think if you should have a core character in wrestling, and then when you're babyface or heel, you change little things. It's like, this is a completely different guy. His name is Seth Rollins, but that ain't the Seth Rollins that we've seen.
I don't like what they're stitching in the women's division, like they're doing with Bayley.
Yeah,
character really hasn't changed
God.
much.
You know what I think? What it comes down to, I think, is that you guys are wanting a heel Rollins. That a face Rollins just isn't working.
Well, I truthfully
that's
think
really
that
what it comes to.
I don't mind it. I don't mind him being. You know what he reminds me of? It's like Tom. Ever since he got they announced him with Becky, that the couple, the way them. He's like freaking Tom Cruise on Oprah Winfrey's couch.
I mean, look at Becky Lynch.
Yeah, happy go lucky, like a freaking Energizer Bunny. Yay! It's annoying.
Yeah, they shouldn't have brought that into the story. I feel like that hurt everybody.
Yeah.
Like prior to WrestleMania, even when he had the "I'm gonna burn it down" Beast Slayer mentality, it wasn't corny. Now it's like, oh, you see my girlfriend? Yeah, I'm the man's man.
And I'm gonna go burn it down, guys.
Yeah, it's just a little. I don't know. I think Steve's right in a sense that whatever Seth had while he was heel Rollins was what we're looking for, and it's just like I know they're trying to make him face of the company, family friendly guy, but they don't. I guess they don't see every time they try and do that. They take what people liked about John Cena. They took what people liked about Roman Reigns. They took what people liked about to Seth Rollins. These guys who you liked them because of that's who they, the character they were, and then they decide to go in and start tinkering with shit, and then it goes sideways.
They try to fix what's not broken.
That's it. Don't fix what ain't broken. Is there a little bit? You guys, did anybody watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of the cheerleader effect going on with the Shield guys, where you see three guys in a group and you go, "Oh shit, those guys are badasses," and now that they're not in a group anymore, you're like, "Oh, okay." Like there was just something about when they were in the group, you would never say, "Oh, Seth Rollins, that fucking nerd." Like we're sitting here saying some shit we'd never say about Seth Rollins 5 years ago because he was in the Shield, and now they broke up, and it's like, Yeah. It's like seeing a group of cheerleaders and not noticing the one with the cross eye,
Yeah.
It's fun. No.
They all fit together, but once you take the puzzle apart, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Pyramid falls down.
It was all a pyramid scheme.
On the flip side, though, and I think it's because he's not in the main event, Roman Reigns is actually getting better.
Yes.
Because they're not giving him the stuff that they're giving to Seth right now.
Well,
they're letting him kind of do his
that segment ended SmackDown last week, right?
Oh, yeah, that weird thing.
Listen, the bottom line is with Roman Reigns, they did the smart thing. He came back from getting better, and they didn't give him the belt. They didn't put him back in the main event. They just kept things going, and they just brought him back into mid-card type stories, and it is perfect. Build him back up. Eventually, he's going to be back in the main event spot, but they're doing that right. There's some things that they don't get right. This is something they're getting right.
It only took them like 5 years.
Night with the kids was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was good with the kids.
That was
it's always
cool.
Nice around this time of year when they start doing that Connor's Cure stuff, and obviously he's the right guy to do it.
Absolutely. And you could see that was the father having fun with the kids.
Yeah, and that's good. He's showing personality, which he never did before.
That's what I mean. It's perfect for him.
Yeah, and you're right, Steve. They could have rushed him back, put the belt on him, and they had the fucking orange ribbons on the side plates of the belt. Yes. And then every time you bought the orange ribbon side plate, they'd make a donation and some other goofy bullshit. So if they did that, we even talked about this before WrestleMania. We're like, they're gonna kill him if they start doing the same shit they did originally.
They're gonna boo the cancer guy. Yeah,
they're gonna boo the cancer guy. That was the phrase. They're gonna boo the cancer guy, and it didn't happen. It kind of happened because we saw there, but it wasn't as lopsided as it once was.
They were playing footsie with it for a little bit.
Yeah, but people, you can.
He gets a lot more cheers now than he.
Absolutely.
For
absolutely.
Sure.
This thing isn't helping him though. This Tuesday night thing, this stupid "I did it for The Rock." Who done it?
It would have made more sense if they did.
Well, listen, yet again, they fucked it up.
Up.
It was not Roman's fault. They fucked it up.
No, I'm putting zero blame on him because I'm not putting any blame on any of the guys that are on TV because it doesn't make any sense. They had this Rowan thing where Daniel Bryan said Rowan didn't do it, and then they brought out the fake Rowan. And then the next week they're like, fuck that fake guy, it was me all along. It's like, well then, did we need that? I don't know what.
That felt like a Russo thing.
Right, whatever this was supposed to turn out to be, it's just not what. It's fine. It's whatever. It's not, completely compelling television. They're working with what they got. But I think the idea, somebody had an idea that was probably really good and then just got fucked up along the way.
It got lost in the rewrites.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Got lost in the that's the best way to put it, man. I think you're right. It got lost in the rewrites.
It probably was. Oh yeah, that was mentioned. Oh yeah, that was last week's script that I ripped up. Oh no.
But now we've got. I guess we'll figure out in a little while. Rowan beat up Daniel Bryan. Rowan beat up Roman Reigns. Is Daniel Bryan a babyface and Rowan's a heel, or is Daniel Bryan still a heel because he was doing shady shit in the background anyway, and Rowan's a bad guy still? I don't know.
It's now a pyramid. Roman's the face, Daniel's the minor heel, and Rowan's the mecha heel.
I guess. But I don't know. Does that mean we have to watch Roman Reigns wrestle Rowan though?
Oh,
that's not looking forward to that.
It won't be bad, but it won't be great.
It's not going to set the world on fire.
Yeah, at least it won't be bowling shoe ugly, as JR would say.
Oh, you never know, man. You never know. But
speaking of JR, I missed the Stone Cold. I needed that last night.
I'm surprised Michael Cole didn't just say it's boss time.
Oh. I probably would have stabbed myself. Just committed suicide right there on the spot if he said it's boss time during the stunner. Just.
Speaking of, we had the women's four horsewomen implode.
That was a very good match, I thought.
It started off like kind of slow, but then really picked up.
I thought that was actually one of the best matches of the entire night.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a decent show.
Never really were together. How could they implode?
Yeah, no, that's true. They didn't. It was just happenstance. But
I don't like the fact that Bailey is still coming out and doing her little high wave thing, and then
I like that though.
Well, so now, like,
is she doing it sarcastically?
She really, right? Like, is she truly
doing it sarcastically?
Is she truly a heel now? Like, no. I'm not even getting the impression that she's full heel yet.
Just wait until Sasha puts a blue wig on her head this week.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if she is or isn't, but
I don't think she is a heel. She's just
she hit Becky Lynch with a chair. They did the Russo swerve where one person's hitting her with a chair and the other person goes, "No, stop!" And everybody goes, "No, let me do it." And it's like they've done that. They've done it 100 times, so everybody knows what's going to happen.
But now they predicted that it was going to be Bailey that night.
Yeah, but I feel like isn't that like the official? Once she hits Becky with the chair, doesn't that do it?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can't be a heel and then come out with Bailey buddies and a stupid side ponytail like you're 4 years old. And talk about like,
Amanda, thank you. It's not just me. You hate the side ponytail too.
Oh my God.
Thank God. I thought it was just me.
I'm kind of used to it. Like I associated with her.
It's another thing that's a girl thing.
Well, it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
I was gonna say it must be.
It's like freaking 80s Punky Brewster. Stop.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, but Raw overall, I think was, it's getting better. This week was probably the best of the bunch recently.
It was a good go-home show for.
Yeah, it set everything up. We added some new,
Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions, not Night of Champions. Clash of Champions. We've got Cedric official.
It's the same team, right?
Yeah, it's all the titles are defended.
In fact, that was the old name for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I wonder if they didn't want to use. Did they not want to use Clash because Clash was the WCW name for it?
I remember they.
Wait, what is it called? I thought
it's not Clash of Champions.
It is.
Well, it is, but they used to call it Night of Champions. Remember that, and then I think they finally decided, hey, we've got all these names that we bought from WCW, and it's time to do Halloween Havoc. Everybody on the internet, please band together. We need to submit a petition. I don't know how to do this. Somebody do it.
Change.org.
Bring back Halloween Havoc and the inflatable pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as there's an inflatable pumpkin, you could do it on a Monday night and just call it Halloween Havoc. But we need the fucking pumpkin.
It was from 2007 to 2015. It was Night of Champions.
Was it really that long?
Wow.
No, and then it went to
Clash.
Yep.
Right. No, but I'm just like, was it really that long? Wow.
Yeah, it was. And the first one was Vengeance Night of Champions.
Yes, it was. It was originally a Vengeance pay-per-view, and they gave it the caption. That was how they transitioned it. Oh.
In Mick Foley's last WWE title match. Little piece of trivia.
While we're on the WWE petitions, can we also petition for them to fix the app so we can start casting it again?
Oh, you can't use it on Google Chrome anymore to cast? Oh, man. They also, when they updated it, they also killed support for certain generations of the Apple TV, aside from like...
and consoles.
And consoles?
360, PS3.
Oh, wow.
The LG TV... the Windows Store.
How about Samsung? I have a Samsung TV. They might have killed that too, but I have it on my Xbox One, so I guess it's okay.
But like,
Samsung's okay. I have it on my Samsung.
Okay.
What does have to do with anything? Why can't I just do it?
It needs this it's all back end stuff.
Yeah,
but it needs the support of. Was it Flash? No, you can cast anything. You can cast any web page. So
I'm not sure. Still cast with YouTube.
Yeah, so
TV.
That's just weird that WWE would take away that function, considering there are people that Google the Google what's that called? Chromecast is a pretty popular device now. I have an old,
but not even like it doesn't work on my Chromecast, nor does it work on my Amazon Fire Stick.
Oh, well, that sucks too.
It doesn't work on your Fire Stick.
No.
Works on mine.
You guys can download the app from your Fire Stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Oh, maybe she has a different one than you. Maybe she has like an older one.
No, I have the
It's
new
still
one,
running the same
in Canada.
Because you're in Canada?
Oh, duh.
Oh, it's because they have, what is it, a channel still? Like a physical channel on your cable in Canada, or no?
Yep.
Oh, no.
They make you get cable too.
That's the worst.
That is the...
That's pretty bad.
Message me after the podcast. I think I got an idea.
Try and figure out a solution.
You gotta override this.
I think I got an idea.
You can do it.
Yeah. Bullshit.
It's a bunch of bullshit up in here.
What do we got on deck tonight for SmackDown?
Well, so who do we think is going to replace Elias?
I think it should be the person that lost to Elias.
That would be fun.
That was.
Who lost to Elias? Wasn't it Ali?
Yeah, it was Ali. Then Owens lost first round.
Which actually, you know what? It would make perfect sense if it was Ali, just on coincidence.
Yeah.
Because similar to what happened to him and gave Kofi the launch, now, full circle. Assuming he wins it all. King Mustafa.
Too bad he doesn't have Ali anymore. He could be Prince Ali, Fabulous Ali Ababwa.
And then get sued.
I know, they're talking about getting sued by the man. They'll be sued by Disney.
Sued by the mouse.
Yeah, sued by the mouse is worse than getting sued by the man. They got too many lawyers.
Oh, that'd be ugly. But they still couldn't get Spider-Man.
Nope. I think, I'm hoping that Chad Gable wins this whole thing. All of our hopes are on him now. Basically, unless the replacement wins.
We really want Gable to win.
Not really.
I'm okay with
I'm okay with it, but
it's something different. They've been using Baron Corbin so much over the last year or two. It's just,
let's not get that twisted. I'm okay with anyone winning over Baron Corbin. All right. But I don't know. I would have been much happier seeing King Ricochet.
King Ricochet would have been nice.
If Mustafa gets put in, I'd be okay with that. I would have been okay with Joe. So, I mean, shit, I would have been okay with McIntyre, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I guess he's got some kind of injury right now. Drew McIntyre.
What's his injury? Do we know?
I don't know. I just saw the reason he was off TV is because he had some kind of minor injury.
And what's Elias's injury?
Ankle.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Legit, and that's another one. It's a legit. It's not just a TV injury. It's a legit injury. It sucks.
Probably isn't going to win, so there was no point to.
Right. If he was going to win, something would have,
I'm sure they would have worked around the ankle.
They would have figured something out.
He went under surgery. It isn't.
Elias had ankle surgery?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Drew McIntyre. They haven't said what the injury was. It just says that he underwent surgery.
Ooh, that's rough.
But they haven't specifically said what it was yet.
But they're saying expected back soon, so can't be that bad.
Yeah, he might have got like his knee scoped. He could have had some scar tissue in there that need to be cleaned up. That happens sometimes. Who knows? But hopefully he'll be back.
Well, the Claymores, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, especially with big guys, usually it's a pretty good guess if a guy is that tall and carries that much weight on him. And not that he's fat, he just carries a lot of muscle. It's
quite big.
Yeah, it's a good guess to say that it would be something with his knees or his back or, something in that area because
quad.
That's the business they're in. Oh, God, the quad. I tore my quad.
I tore both of them.
Yeah, but he didn't tore it.
I will continue the match.
Vince McMahon, did you ever watch the McMahon DVD, the documentary that they did? And Triple H said Vince still busts his balls because he's like, I tore both of them and my rehab was quicker and all this other shit. Like Vince McMahon, even being injured, is competitive.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I just don't try to figure out how he tore both quads going into the ring and then it's just sitting there.
I think it was on the slide in.
Yeah.
They hit against the corner of the ring, which if you listen to Michael Cole, that's the hardest part of the ring.
Right.
So he hit the hardest part of the.
Cole told you that? He didn't tell me that.
He didn't tell you that? Just watch TV for more than 3 minutes.
Man.
Oh.
All I hear is boss time. I don't hear it.
Boss time, big dog, and that's the hardest part of the ring.
Not to take this down a notch.
Oh no.
But one thing we didn't address too, there were pictures that surfaced that the Fink was backstage during Raw,
yeah.
And he did not look good. I mean, he's got a full gray beard now. He looks like he lost some weight. He looked like he was in a wheelchair as well.
Yep.
So I wish him nothing but the best. He was always so nice to me, and he's just a really nice guy. So
I know. He's recovering.
Awful.
What?
It said for having a stroke, that didn't look awful.
No, but I mean, compared to the way he was when I saw him not too long ago, you know what I mean? It was kind of a shock to see. And then there's also something going on with Brian Knobbs. I don't know if you guys caught that.
I saw there was like a GoFundMe or something up
Yeah, so apparently he has some infection in his leg, and he doesn't have really great insurance. So the medical bills are piling up, and so there's a GoFundMe for him too. It just sucks.
That does.
We talk about last week. We were talking about the toll that this business takes on the body, and there's just another example. And now, this also brings up the problems with the insurance companies. But that's another story. But
he needs a full knee replacement according to this because the infection and then it's sepsis. Damn.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, it's serious.
Damn.
It's a shame.
Wow, that does suck. Oh, shit.
Shouldn't he get Medicare by his age though?
Nah, is he that old?
I don't know how old he is.
I guess maybe he might be.
Knobbs has to be in his late 50s, right? Early 60s, maybe?
Let's see.
That up right now.
No, he's only 55.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I would have thought he was way older than that.
That's rough.
The sad part is if you look at it, he looks older than that. That's
right, yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed he was that young when he was doing it back then because he looked older.
Yeah, he suffers from the Arn Anderson disease, from where you look like you're 40 when you're 20.
He can still give a great ass spine buster.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. I wasn't here for the show right after the AEW All Out pay-per-view, but
that was one hell of a spine buster.
If you didn't like that pay-per-view, you have a big old dump in your pants. Like, you don't have to think it was perfect, but it was a fun show. Like, there was obviously, there's issues that they have to get through, but like, it's fun and it's
which
more
any
wrestling.
new company is going to go through. I mean, that's,
Of course.
And it's like, oh, we don't know any of these guys. Like, so that's a lot of the problem. Some of the criticism is like, well, who are these guys that they're bringing on? That's the point, dum-dums. Like, the whole point is to take guys you haven't heard of and put them on TV and make them popular. Like, that's how you build a new brand.
Yeah.
That's what you do. They're investing in these guys that haven't been a big names. Aside, there are, and they do have Moxley. They've got Omega and all of them.
There were a lot of people that did not know who AJ Styles was before TNA Impact. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people that didn't know a fucking thing about Low Key until TNA. So, that's the idea. You're right. And it's that's one of the more exciting things, I think, is that we are going to see talent that we're not used to become stars. And, so definitely check it out. It was a great pay-per-view. What's The Undertaker's role tonight?
That's a really good question.
At least with Austin, his role was to make sure that contract got signed. And then, of course, a beer bash. What is I feel like the only thing that does make sense would be an attack like him just coming out and reminiscing about the Garden and then The Fiend coming out.
That would be awesome, though.
It might be that he's going to come out and tell somebody they have to go one-on-one with Teddy Long. He figures after all the years of Teddy Long telling people they're going to wrestle The Undertaker, maybe The Undertaker wants a night off. They have to wrestle Teddy Long instead.
He comes out and forces Teddy Long to go one-on-one with The Fiend.
Oh, my God.
I would really like it if The Undertaker came out in a Steve Harvey suit and just said, holla, holla, playa, playa. It's going to be a tag team match. And then made a tag team match. How would The Undertaker handle that?
You need Teddy Long's theme in the background as well.
Yes, absolutely. Like a bad creator wrestler. We just put The Undertaker in place of Teddy Long. Shit.
Full Undertaker get up.
But it's got to be like bright purple to match Teddy Long's suit. I don't know what his role's going to be. I mean, the last time they had him at the Raw reunion thing, that one where they did it half at the Barclays and then half at the what was it, Viking
Center?
Yeah, Manhattan Center. So they had him come on to the Manhattan Center, and he literally said nothing.
He
digging
said
holes and taking souls, and they're like, "Is this it? Did he retire?" And it's like, no, he's not going to retire because Prince Ali.
Did anything happen at the Manhattan Center during that show, though, except for JR sleeping?
No. People paid like $800 for front row seats, and nothing happened at that show. Yeah. But so it's really a mystery whenever he comes out now, because you don't know if it's just going to be, hey guys, I can't wrestle anymore, I'm retired, or I'm just going to come out and talk about digging holes and taking souls, or is he actually going to have a match? Because you don't know. They just announce him and he comes out and does some shit.
I don't think
I'm The Undertaker.
Yeah, there's no defined role for The Undertaker in WWE right now.
Which is kind of weird to say out loud.
After 20, 30 years, yeah.
Well, look on the bright side. It's Madison Square Garden. The entrance won't take too long.
It's true.
He'll still find a way.
Yeah.
He'll just stop.
This is true.
They did
But
his
it'll take
entrance.
2 minutes instead of 5.
They did his entrance on College Game Day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do we have any? Because we're getting towards the top of the hour here, and SmackDown's going to start. Do we have any housekeeping stuff or any stuff about the site? Or
well, I covered that at the beginning.
That's what I figured. You covered the Apple thing.
Yeah, so we're good on my end when it comes to that.
Weirdos at Apple.
We do have one question in.
Oh, good. What's our question?
Do it up.
Andre from New Mexico wants to.
Hey,
Andre.
Or what our Clash of Champions predictions are.
Oh boy. Let's see.
And
Wow,
we're right on it.
that's this Sunday.
Yeah,
It is.
that's right. It was a good question.
I'll run down the card.
Excellent.
We got, of course, the King of the Ring final.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. That's a two. We don't know who's going to be in it tonight.
King Shorty. Shorty G.
Bailey and Flair. Smackdown Women's title.
Bailey.
Bailey's got to win, right? Because it kills
everything.
Whatever fake heel turn she's
Unless
doing.
she goes completely snaps.
I think Bailey and Sasha are
Absolutely.
both going to be champions. I think.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? That's how
That's
I
what-
think that's going to go.
I still think they're going to get the tag titles as well.
The undisputed era of women's wrestling. Yeah.
I was going to say 2-woman power trip.
There you go. Even better.
Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Oh God, who cares?
I hate all of that. I just,
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not.
it doesn't make any sense. None of these guys are in a tag team right now.
Yeah.
And yet they're in a tag team. They're fake tag teams.
I know there's so many tag teams that deserve to be on the card in that spot, not those two.
They had a whole tag team gauntlet, and the team that won was a team that didn't exist until that match happened.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
There's our opinion right there.
I feel like they're gonna just.
Mark that one is, and I don't give a shit.
They're gonna. Rollins and Strowman might keep them, and because those two guys are jobbers. I don't know.
No, I think Roode and Ziggler are going to get it to transition to the Viking Raiders.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that might be good, and then you could have the OC
Though
against
the Viking Raiders, they're dominant enough team that you throw a little tension between Braun and Seth. There's an easy out.
Yeah, but they could. I mean, they'd have a much easier time beating Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that too.
That too.
You know, within the context, but
yeah, that could be a 5-minute match on Raw.
All right, what other matches we got?
Oh God, there's 12.
Braun.
Seth Braun.
I hope it's Seth, just because
it's probably gonna be
winning the
Seth.
next one.
Yeah, well, I said it too. I don't want Braun to be a paperweight, and if the next person's facing the Fiend, we know how that's going to go. So I'm going to go with Rollins.
Yeah, and I'm okay if the lead up is that the Fiend just absolutely destroys Seth Rollins, then everything
it's gonna be Christmas
that'll
early.
work out. But then that leaves me, and we don't have enough time to get into this whole what's going to happen with the Fiend after that, because they really should have dragged this out a little bit as far as I'm concerned with the Fiend. But
well, we said this
whatever.
last week. It's as much as we're all game for him to be champion, it's too soon.
Right.
Yeah.
But that ship has sailed. We're already there, so it is what it is.
But if he keeps it until WrestleMania, that'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, he can't just, like, win it and then lose it at, like, some bumblefuck pay-per-view.
What if he continues the Mania and we get the Fiend versus the Demon?
Yeah, sure.
No,
That
but
could be
the
fun.
demon can't lose either.
You sound so enthused about that, Vince. Yeah, sure.
Listen, it's better than any other option. I mean, what is it going to be? It's going to be Roman Reigns against the Fiend, and then he beats the Fiend. Like, we already know what happens.
Seth Rollins at Mania, and he becomes the Fiend Slayer.
I want to hit my head against a wall after you just said Fiend Slayer, because you know that fucking T-shirt would be made.
I'd rather have the red light at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not
Kofi Randy for the title, SmackDown title.
Kofi.
Randy.
Kofi.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Kofi, because that sends the wrong message if Randy Orton wins.
But why?
It's a little bit too Triple H, Booker T, WrestleMania 19. if
Take your
Orton wins.
start at SmackDown, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Tell you so. We'll run through these real quick. Cruiserweight Championship: Gulak, Carrillo, Lindsay Dorado. Drew Gulak's got to keep it.
Gulak.
Yeah.
Don't care.
New Day against the Revival.
New Day.
New
Day.
Yeah. Shinsuke versus the Miz.
Miz.
Yeah.
Shinsuke.
I feel like Shinsuke has to
Undertaker's
win.
on.
Yes. Yeah. That's why we're
Oh, I didn't.
rushing
I'm
through.
behind.
Yeah. It's all good.
Miz
That's 5 minutes for him to get to the ring. It's okay.
Yeah.
Miz to ruin Jericho's IC title record.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it could. I mean, it very well could. Becky, Sasha. Steve already called the Sasha win.
Yeah.
Sasha.
I don't know. I would like Becky to win just because I feel like
Becky's had a good run. She
has had a good run. Roman Reigns, Eric Rowan. I mean, Roman Reigns has to win that match, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shit.
Unless there's another swerve to it.
Right, unless there's some bullshit swerve. Who knows, bro?
Come on, bro.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville for the women's tag team championships.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I think the Bliss Cross team.
Team Bliss all the way.
And AJ Cedric. I feel like
AJ.
I would love it for Cedric to win. If only to no, because then the Fiend's involved in the world title. So how would AJ be involved if he lost? I don't know. Fuck.
Chalk that up. That'll be a good match. We don't care.
Right? It will be a good match. We don't know the finish. We have no fucking clue.
I think for right now, I think AJ keeps it. Cedric just had his big main event win on Raw. I think that, I think that's where it ends.
That's true. All right. Those are our thoughts on the pay-per-view. Apparently, The Undertaker is on TV right now.
Yeah, and it's 8:03 and he still ain't in the ring.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for the update.
He's just climbing up the steps now. See?
All right. So this is perfect timing. If you're watching live, we're going to end the show so you can enjoy listening to The Undertaker digging holes and taking souls and whatever else he's doing. And yeah, that'll do it for tonight. Please be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. It's Tag Me a Date, all one word, Tag Me a Date, no spaces. That's on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And we stream live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. If you go to youtube.com, it's Tag Me a Date, no spaces. You put that in the search bar. You can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified when we go live or upload a video. Again, follow us on all of our social medias at Tag Me a Date. And tagmeadate.com is free to sign up, free to search, free to match, free to message, free to post status updates, all that good stuff. It's all free on tagmeadate.com. There's a tagmeadate.com app in the Google Play Store. There is a tagmeadate.com app coming to the iTunes App Store. We're still waiting on the approval process. But again, if you have any kind of device... Oh, what, the podcast? Yes.
No, it was the update.
It's the update. We're waiting on the approval for the update. So there is an app, but we're just waiting for the approval on the update. So if you don't have that app, tagmeadate.com scales to your device, whether you've got a phone, a tablet, or a desktop or laptop computer. So whatever device you're on, you can use it on tagmeadate.com. You can also go to these various podcast repositories to listen to the show. That is what? SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify,
Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
SoundCloud. Where you can find podcasts, we are there.
On all major fine distributors of podcasts. Yes. So we'll be back next week, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report. Enjoy SmackDown, everybody. We'll talk about that and more next week right here live. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, we are live, and we'll be back 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. Have a nice week. Thank you.